and find something you're passionate about besides Ziggy.
Hey guys, so I wanted to come on for at least a little bit because I promised myself I was going to go live every day, recording, no matter what. So I have to stick to my promise to myself, even though I was like kind of wanting to go to bed. But I did watch The Lab. Well, I think I missed like the first part of it. I might have missed like an hour or so of it. But it was really good actually. They also talked about, I liked hearing about Chris McDonough's, like what happened with the Michael Crow case. It was interesting. Hey guys. Hey Dottie, Whispers, RJ. Hey Sassy. Cat. Did any of my hopefully did any of those sounds just go off and me just not hear it? Hold on. My cat just laid on the freaking stream deck again. Hey, Genji. Genji. Oh, I like that. Has a little ring to it. Hey, Lulu. Imagine Peace. What? No sound. Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. I was like, I know you can hear me. The little bubble thing is going, the little circle thing is happening. 5:24 p.m. It is 1:14 a.m. here. Oh, you meant from the cat. Okay, I see what you mean. Duh. My bad. I really liked the Labs live tonight. Well, what I saw. This cat, dude. I can't. Like, he's the most annoying thing ever. Every single time I'm live. It seems like he's more active when I'm live. Yeah, and he has me blocked. I was sitting there tagging some of you and saying hi, and nobody saw me. But I wasn't even on this channel. I was on my backup channel. And he must have me blocked because I was sitting there. I tried to talk to Country Girl like a couple times. And then also, who was the other one that I saw in there? Oh, Sammy. And she didn't see me. So, anyways, I was there though watching, and I did like it. It's probably back from when all that drama happened. I tried texting him just to see if, because when I used his cat, ouch! Did you just seriously scratch my toe? I tried to text him to ask for, or to let him know I was going to use one of his videos in my live the other day, but I don't know if he changed his phone number or if he was just ignoring me or if I was just blocked. He did. He blocked you. I mean, it could be. It's probably from that whole situation. Like, when was it? I mean, it was like, that was probably like a year ago. Not quite a year ago. Maybe 9 months ago. Hey, Raybird and Lisa. Do you guys see my community posts? The picture I posted? I don't really have much of a topic. That's why I was like, that's what's hard about going live every day, is that I was just watching some stuff on Alex Murdaugh. Oh, did you guys watch the Aphrodite reading on Alex Murdaugh murders? Like the one he did 7 months ago or something? You didn't see my comments? I wrote a comment to you twice, country girl, because I knew like you would comment back, because I wanted to see if I was blocked. Oh, well, thank you guys. Thanks, True Colors. Seeing a video where Alex's son Paul and his girlfriend were at the bar before heading to the boat. He's so disrespectful to her. Or how about that one where like they had to stop at a bar just because Alex wanted to, or Papa wanted to go to a bar. They were out on a boat and they had to make like a freaking pit stop to a bar, and the other, it was just for Paul so he could go drink, because I guess he's like some kind of alcoholic, like big time already at like however old he is. Well, whenever the crash happened, he was like, what, 19 or something? Anyways, he didn't care. Nobody else wanted to go to the bar, but Paul, it was Paul's boat and he was the captain and he's in charge. So, they were stopping, and literally like everybody was waiting on Paul to be done at the bar. He just like takes his time hanging out at a bar where people are waiting on him. That's how inconsiderate and entitled these people are. Yeah, and he was like highly abusive to his girlfriend. Makes you wonder what he saw at home. I know you would have, country girl. That's why I knew Sammy would too. So that's why you two were the two I saw like at that period of time that I knew would respond. So I commented to you guys, and You guys didn't see my comments. You guys really need to. We should. It would. I know it would. My live would get flagged though. Because that, I was gonna say we should watch that Netflix documentary. It is really, really good. If you guys have not seen it, it's crazy good, and it really opens your eyes about the dynamics of that family and just how many secrets. One thing that Aphrodite said in his like reading, he's a tarot reader. He has like 250,000 followers or something on YouTube, so he's pretty popular. Anyways, he said that he felt that Alex was had a fetish, humiliation fetish. The type where he would get in a diaper like a baby and cry like a baby while people sat there and made fun of him. And he'd get paid for that stuff like that, for being humiliated. I could totally see that. I could totally see Alex being one of those, because I could totally see it. Thank you, Lisa. The nurses at the hospital the night of the boat wreck said he was like the worst patient ever. Yeah, and then the boyfriend of Mallory, like, he's sitting there devastated. He can't even leave. He won't even go to the hospital because he doesn't want to leave Mallory, because he didn't know. Nobody found her like she wasn't found for a few days. And he almost like beat the shit out of Paul. Like when he saw Paul walking towards them in the body cam footage of the police, like, because Paul was like sitting there smiling, and acting like things was all like good, and nobody could find Mallory, and he was being like a dumbass while driving, wouldn't let anybody else drive. He was sitting there, and he slapped his girlfriend. And then right after that, after slapping his girlfriend, he jerked the wheel the wrong way, and that's when they crashed and ran into the bridge. But he was fighting and throwing a fit. He wouldn't let anybody take the wheel because he was way too wasted, because it was his boat and he's the captain. And he's drunk off his ass, being very stupid and very irresponsible. He used his brother's ID to, go to the bar, and also to fill the cooler with different kinds of beer. And I guess there was also video of him beer bonging a bunch of beer that same night before the wreck. The Enigma of Ben Hell. Of Ben Hell? What's that? The Low Country? What's that about? It took him 5 days. I was thinking 3, but yeah, like after the first day that even after the first hour that nobody even hears, you don't hear Mallory anywhere. Everybody's looking for her. That's bad news. And her boyfriend knew it. And Paul was just acting like nothing had happened. Oh yeah, it stripped down to his shorts when he was drunk too, and his alter ego was called Timmy. That's when he got drunk. He even had a name. You guys all remember that friend back in high school or back in college or whatever, when you were real young and stupid. If you were, had a period of your life where you went through, where partied a lot, like myself in my early 20s. Then everybody always had that friend that had the alter ego when they were drunk, because they would get really stupid, and so they would get a nickname. It's like Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. And that was Paul's alter ego, was Timmy. I know. He really like that boy. He's a catch, man. If I was 20 years younger, I would totally date Anthony. He seems like a sweetheart. I know there's a lot of secrets with that family. It's very, very like interesting. Like that lady that we watched, I think we watched it on here, right? Part of it. The lady who was a call girl or escort for Murdaugh. And he would choke her. He yanked her hair out. She said she literally had a bald spot in the back of her head for like ever. And she even showed in the video how her hair was still shorter in that area because of him. Low Country, the Murdaugh Dynasty. Oh, so that's another is that on Netflix? Yeah, that was really, really sad with that. The lady, what's her name? Lisa? Is that her name? Somebody was telling me, like, the other day that somebody was giving me a hard time because I asked you guys if Hawkins County was still on Summer Wells' case. And I guess, like, I'm really disappointed to hear that Kraken cases were, like, talking shit when I've always defended them. I didn't know that I am supposed to know everything about everything, like, all the time. They've been wrong before. And I'm pretty sure we all know, most of us know that who's been over the Summer Wells case has gone back and forth several times through very many investigators. Like when I called about called in the bone situation, I called Hawkins County and they told me no, they're not taking the, handling that anymore and to call TBI. So, I mean, excuse me for fucking being confused. Good Lord. I had so much sympathy. I felt so bad for him when they put out this, I even talked to him on the phone and they put out this picture thinking it was summer or whatever. And he was all like worried of the backlash he was going to get because of doing that. And I was like, for being wrong. I'm like, dude, it's not a big deal. Like, and all the people are going to hate anyways. You can't be like perfect. And I meant that. So if you want people to give you grace, then you've got to give them grace too, So I feel like I don't know why Cam would like throw me under the bus like that, unless somebody's like being dishonest to him, because I've always stuck up for them and always talked good about them. So, just to get on me and act like it's the biggest deal in the world that I asked you guys. Actually, no, this isn't even what happened. Somebody in the chat, the biggest hater of all, Taco Tuesday, aka Tragedy Pips Exposed, said it in the Cam's chat because she can't keep my name out of her filthy mouth. But anyways, she says in Cam's chat, Ziggy said Hawkins County isn't on Summer's case anymore. And then freaking Cam took it as fact. And even people in the chat even one person in the chat even said, like, no, she didn't say that. And then Cam goes back at her and gets mad at her, saying, oh, I'm sure that if Tragedy Pimps Exposed said it happened, it happened. Okay. Then she puts up a video and to prove her point, which doesn't even prove her point, because in the clip, I'm asking you guys if Hawkins County is back over the Summer Wells case. I didn't state that. So you see how people twist things? Hawkins County wasn't over anymore. And someone said, no, she didn't. And she said, yes, she did. And it was me asking you guys. We have a conversation. This is a discussion like group. This is Ziggy True Crime and Discussion. It's like us talking as friends about similar interest. This is not really, my channel is not so much like an educational channel. I've always said that. It's more of an entertainment channel, conversational discussion. Sometimes, when I do my research and stuff, it can be educational. But it's more so just to come here and chill. Yeah. And so I listened on Deets of the Streets too for the first time recently. And that voice sounded awfully familiar. Yeah, I was just asking, and I guess like, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of shitty that Cam even entertained that and even acted like it was a big deal, and then come to find out, I didn't even say what Tragedy Pimps was trying to say I said. And for him to embarrass like one of my subs like that, oh, I'm sure Tragedy Pimps exposed. If she said it, it's the truth. He should know. He should know how it goes on YouTube. People go. He knows that he's been. I know he hasn't been on here quite as long as me, but they've been. No, actually, they started about the exact same time as me, and they should know by now how miscommunication happens and people try to start shit. You know. Hello, sinners. I wonder, Jane, you'll have to text me and tell me if you see, so we can see if we think it's the same person. I would love to find that. I know who. I have Taco Tuesday's picture, but I would love to find out who she is because since she thinks she's such a badass. So if anybody knows, feel free to email me. This girl has been after me since freaking day one. If you can talk shit, at least like show your face. You know, it's pretty cowardly to go to go behind an account under some type of, you know, fake name and talk shit about somebody and their choices when nobody knows your life, which I'm sure is a freaking nightmare. Because nobody who has anything going for them spends their days on the internet, like following like one or two people in their lives and trying to pick apart their lives. Maybe their life wouldn't be in so much shambles if they put that energy towards themselves. Shinners. Hello, Shinners. I am getting so hot. I want to take my Murdaugh off. It is because Sheba, I agree. It is because people. It's just so disappointing, you know, because I've always talked about anybody I talk to. I'm not going to lie. There is not very many creators here on YouTube with any integrity. It's very few and far between, actually, like very, very few and far between. And for me to always like say that Cam and Allie were one of the few good ones, I really, you know, I mean, I meant it. And for them to just like, man, or as everybody in this, because yeah, it really is. The company you keep says a lot about you. You know what I mean? Oh, I can't wait till Justin does his impression on me either, because I could sit here, because that way we could watch it live. Well, after he puts it out, and I wait 24 hours, of course. But then it's go time. They do act cooler now on YouTube. And then it's like, it's really, really funny when somebody who lives in a house that was donated to them, and they're don't own anything, never had a license, never, and they're the same age as me. It's really hilarious when people like that, like, get a job. When they've never had a job in their fucking lives. Seriously. Definitely nowhere longer than like a week. No, your job, bitch, is freaking following my life. You get a job. How lame is that? How lame is that? When I was listening, Mr. McDonough this evening, really, his words really hit home. His words really hit home when he talked about most of the people, giving him a hard time. Most of the creators, he said straight up, like, most of them are criminals. So he doesn't care what they think. And then he showed some clips that really it shows how miscommunication. It just isn't. I'm sure that had to have been hard on Chris. Can you guys imagine? So that's what and just like he was saying, does people really think what they say about him are going to bug him? Look what kind of shit he had to go through with the Crow case and that public humiliation. Do you think he really cares about somebody on YouTube? Plus, like, whatever anybody says, he is very accomplished. Nobody can be perfect. That's not even relatable. Anybody can do the things like that Chris McDonough has accomplished. They just have to put on the work, but they don't want to. So instead, they just sit there and freaking hate. And that's why their lives are in shambles, because they put their energy in negativity 24/7. Yeah. I think he called them crackheads, or was it? No, I don't think he said crack. Josh said crackheads. And that's very true. Just like the one that tried to tell me to do a drug screen, which, by the way, I did. And I did send a video to a friend, just like, should I post this? I never did, though, because I don't have to prove anything to anybody. But I just think it's funny that you have the biggest crackhead on YouTube trying to tell you to do a drug test. Like, people on this app are so freaking hypocritical. It's unreal. Like, can we please get some decent people up in here so we can get some hope and humanity? Exactly. It isn't what criminals think of you is none of your business. When anybody, it's very, very freeing once you realize you have to, being a creator on YouTube. I don't have any other word to say besides creator. I know I'm not really creating anything, but anyways. So don't go there either, picking apart my every word. But if you being on a platform like this and the scrutiny you get, like, oh my God, you have to seriously learn quickly to just get that attitude, like Justin said, and just be like, it's not my business what others think of me. And you can't sit there and tire yourself out, like having to watch everything that's posted about you, because it's not your business anyways. Like, it's not my business. I don't care, because the stuff is so untrue. Oh, like 95% of the time, because people can't even put out truth because they want to make you look bad. So think about it. What kind of people would do that? What kind of people would do that to somebody else? Sit there and just try to dig up every horrible thing they can find on a person. And if they can't find anything, put out lies. That has to be some miserable person. And I guarantee my life is probably I'd probably much rather be in my life than their life. I guarantee it. Thank you so much, Imagine Peace. Thank you. What are you confused about, Jane? Did you not watch Josh's live tonight with Chris McDonough? They were just talking about, the hate that they've got on YouTube. And he got to talking about the Michael Crow and all the hate but when he was talking about the hate he got on YouTube, Josh said something like, Josh was talking about the hate he got too, and he's like, I don't care what a crackhead thinks of me, or something like that. Some crackhead YouTuber, that's what he said. Six did one on YouTube about when you talked about fentanyl, telling everyone when you were putting out. I wonder how she gets a copy of PPO to show chat. Saying I put out misinformation about it. Oh, I'm sure she knows all about it. That's right up her alley. Right up her alley. I'm sure she has the education that I have, right? That bitch probably didn't even graduate 8th grade. Seriously. Has no room to talk about anybody. It's so crazy. You don't sit there. I mean, look at Chris McDonough and how he handles stuff. I'm sorry, that's who I want, the type of people I want to be around. That's what I want to strive to be more like. I'm sorry, I'm not sitting here and going along with a crowd of people who sit there and make fun of people's looks, and that's not even, when somebody is losing an argument, you can totally tell. Look at the side who has to put out the nasty shit and lies. That's the side that's losing. That's the side that has the negative agenda. It's so plain to see. I don't see Chris McDonough putting out responding to his haters. Yeah, and that is true. Chris showed us how he wasn't even the one that questioned that interview with the Crow case or whatever. Chris showed us how he wasn't even the one that was questioning at the time of the interview that was in question or whatever. Shabiba. What was his imagination in the case? Maybe I missed a lot of it. Sorry, I got distracted here. Okay. I was looking at a text. Damn you, Justin. No, okay. What I was going to say, I mean, who am I going to listen to? Like, okay, Chris McDonough's human, okay? But he also has years and years of experience in the field, okay? He's a professional. He's been on very many shows and documentaries and all kinds of news outlets. He's wrote books. He has like success people dream of. He's had so much success in his life, even a YouTube channel. I think that he probably knows some things and could probably teach us some things. So yeah, I mean, he's not going to be right all the time. He's going to make mistakes because he is human. I'm not saying that I think he hasn't made some mistakes. I've definitely criticized him on here before, but he's definitely like, I'd rather look up to him than like, that's the type of people I want to be on, their side, because I want to be on the side of good. Who I think's doing the right thing. Yeah, he's director of a cold case foundation. He's like so successful, guys. He doesn't come off cocky to me. I don't think he comes off arrogant at all. Like, I think he's humble. And I think it's admirable that he has like all that success and he is humble. Sorry, I'm sure he's going to have a lot of people. He's highly, highly successful. But he pays for it, as far as he has to deal with a bunch of shit. He's had to deal with a lot of hate. But he does good, and he's good at, you can tell he's made for that type of work, though, because how he's just able to, he's able to be, he's a little too serious sometimes. You notice that? I'm just saying we all have like our gifts, you know what I mean? And that's just like, I would love to have that type of success. And it's easy. It's just so easy to recognize when people like Chris talked about it tonight. He put it in, I don't want to stay on here too long because I wasn't going to stay very long. I just wanted to pop on because I promised myself I would go live at least once a day for an hour. But he put it the best. He explained it the best, and that's where you should. Towards the end of the labs live today, it's true. Like, people, instead of just like our Aphrodite too. I was watching that reading. He was talking about it also. Man, greed makes people, jealousy's what do they call it? Jealousy or envy? The green-eyed monster or something. And I did that. I was so guilty of that when I first started YouTube. I used to believe shit people would say in the chat. I used to get so heated and get so mad. They loved it because I was so gullible. But, you kind of learn over time by trial and error. Over time, you learn, like, people purposely try to stir the pot. And I just don't understand how some of these creators haven't got the memo yet. Like, after you're around here for like a year or so, I think about a year or year and a half. It takes a while, at least for me. Some of us less time than others, but I think that's plenty of time to learn how it works on these YouTube streets. So why does it seem like so many of these creators just read something in the chat and take it as truth? Why? Because it's for, just like Chris McDonough said today, they don't care about the truth. They want clicks and views. The Dylan Rounds case. I haven't looked into that case much, but I do know I heard about somebody being arrested recently in it. It's really hard to dive deep into more than one case, really. Especially, a case like Summer Wells that we kind of get branched out on Brandon Lawson, and then, rumors of SA, and it's an endless freaking rabbit hole. No, I guess common sense isn't very common. You can't believe anything. Yeah, you can't even. I just find it hilarious. I just find it so fascinating. I was watching Sage Sleuth the other day, and something that she said, like, I 100% agree with. Like, oh my gosh, I just lose. She was saying, okay, shit, I just lost that thought. I'm tired. This is what happens when I go live this late. Damn it. I start forgetting things. It will come back to me. I'm trying to think. It has something to do with. I'm not saying I take her standpoint on everything she was saying. I only watched like the first few videos. But I know what it's about. It's about the same thing of people going from chat to chat, and how easy she said she loves, the psychology aspect of YouTube, and I do too. I think it's fascinating. How she even talked about how she even did these her own little experiments to see who would share what information, and how information like spread on YouTube, and how people just follow the leader. People would not be taking these type of saying the things that they're saying and having the same. I guarantee if this was in real life, it would be so much different. No, we're in a virtual space, and people get very ballsy. Hey, Lucy Cat. The Summer Wells case teaches that truth is really stranger than fiction. Oh my gosh. I think the Chris Watts case did that too. Talk about conspiracy theory city. I mean, that case. Wow. I don't know which one is more. Summer Wells has more stuff, other things to branch off into, like, the crooked cops and the freaking good old boy system, or whatever it's called. There's all kinds of stuff to look into in Hawkins County. But the Chris Watts, case, there wasn't there. What was fascinating about that case was kind of like the opposite of what makes Summer Wells fascinating. The Chris Watts case is so fascinating because he seems like nobody has a thing bad to say about the guy. 111 in chat again, guys. I'm seeing 111 everywhere now. Nobody had a thing bad to say about Chris Watts. But there was so much bad shit about Shanann Watts. People had stories to say about her. But when it came to Chris, this murderer who just stuffed his kids into an oil battery, and suffocated his pregnant wife, everybody just talked about how amazing this guy was. So that's just like that's what made that one fascinating, the psychological aspect of that. And then all the conspiracy theories came with that too, because, his mistress's name was Nicole Kessinger, and Shanann was pregnant with Chris's baby, and they were going to name her. Okay, her name's Nicole Lee Kessinger. And guess what they were going to name the baby boy that they were about to have? Nico Lee Watts. Nico Lee. So, the conspiracy theories like that where'd that name come from? That he named the baby after his mistress, or he was going to name the baby after his mistress. And, and then when he was doing that interview, or he wasn't doing the interview, body cam footage. So it was kind of an interview, it was just when cops first arrived. And they're looking at the security footage at the neighbors. And in the background, after looking at the TVs going, and there's a commercial that shows like a unborn fetus and oil, and it's just, I forget what it was a commercial for, but that caused more conspiracy theories. And actually, J is for Justice is the first one. That's when I came over. J is for Justice, and who was, oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't think of her name right now. What's the other one she used to be a partner with? Now they're like enemies. J is for Justice, and yes, an ad for American Horror Story. You're right, Lulu. Critical K. Yes, that's it. Critical K. So that's when I started going on YouTube to just watch true crime. Was back in the Chris Watts case, when I heard Critical K and J is for Justice doing a live on Periscope. That was the first time I was introduced to them. And then that's how I ended up on YouTube, because I found out they were on YouTube. And here we are. It's like fate. Anyways, and now J is for Justice watches me. She hasn't watched me for a few months, but there for a while she was watching me, and I was one of her favorite YouTubers. So how awesome is that? Anyways, it's just funny because I looked at her kind of like a celebrity at one point, because she was on the news and stuff, and then just to think, like, months later I was one of her favorite YouTube channels. It's crazy how life works sometimes. But okay. I haven't even I didn't follow Watt's case on YouTube, but did through local media. I was close to him. Somehow Jay's friends again with Lana from Truth and Transparency. Are you serious? Yeah, I used to watch them on Periscope, and I remember listening to their theory. I think it was Jay's for Justice theory, or it was one of them. They believed that, actually, because nobody could believe that Chris Watts would do such a thing. Not nobody, but a lot of people couldn't. And so at very first, people were thinking that, like, she must have killed the kids. She must have killed the kids, and he caught her doing that, and then he choked her. Because, when she found out he was cheating, some people still believe that's what happened, and that because I'm sorry, Chris Watts is totally, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the victims' families or anything, but Chris Watts is totally the perfect example of a guy, the perfect candidate of a guy who would totally take charges just so his deceased wife didn't have, so she didn't look bad. Her legacy wasn't as a murderer. He is the type, many people would call it like a simp. That's how he was, a simp. He was So I totally feel like I mean, of course he was a cheating simp, but he knew he messed up. Oh gosh, Lana, she's a little bit, I like Lana. I do. It's 222 on the clock. Lana is really intelligent, but sometimes her theories get way out there, and I just can't, or she'll get too drunk. And that's the thing is like, and that also she harassed that poor lady so bad, so freaking bad from that channel. Like she's kind of like a 6-up in a way, but way smarter, way more intelligent. I know they did have oil on their lungs, which nobody could explain that because, I mean, or nobody ever, actually, since we didn't get a trial, we really don't have any explanation for anything except his Wisconsin interview when they went back after he was convicted. Because, I mean, how often does that happen when investigators go back to the person that was convicted because they want answers? They want to know, like, why? Because they didn't understand. They could not understand. Even Shanann's family loved him, thought he was just everything. Oh yes, that was my favorite. I loved Kim. That's who I watched too. I used to go, my channel name, I used to go under my real name, Adrian. Adrian A was my YouTube name. I think it was like, it was Adrian stuff. But anyways, I was one of, what's she go by now? I was one of her very first mods, and actually I was one of her very first subscribers when she had like 200 subscribers. Jules. Well, I don't know what her channel goes by now. Jules. It was some. But anyways, she has a PhD in psychology, and she's highly intelligent and just like so interesting to listen to. I used to tell her that she was like she was like a triple threat because she had brains, beauty, and or double threat or whatever. Yeah, Kim Kaufman. Her channel was Reckoning, something Revelations of the Reckoning or something. Something like that. Revelations and the Reckoning. Yes, Kim Kaufman. And then it came out that there was some kind of weird, like now it's coming out that Lana, some kind of weird like relationship between Lana and Kim. God, it's so crazy. The drama that came around with that too. Like, you guys want to believe. I mean, these scandals, sex scandals, like lesbian sex scandals galore. And most of it was virtual. Oh my God. Let's just say Lana got around the virtual world. I don't know if Kim's still around. I think so. Yeah, I think so, actually, because there's some kind of scandal with her and Lana. You really know man, Ziggy? McBro, you had a good video recently. Which one was that? I don't know which video it was. Oh yeah, Natasha was the very first. That's the very first video I actually did, I think. Or no, it wasn't. My very first video was Summer Wells, but I uploaded a video on Natasha because oh my gosh, that lady is the biggest hypocrite ever. She's a bully. I can't stand people that like she would go on and pick apart people's looks, like looking like she does. It's like, are you kidding me? You got a following on YouTube and you all of a sudden think that you're a supermodel? Yeah, I think she's still on YouTube and still, has lost like 20 channels. And she's the biggest scam artist ever. Natasha. I'm trying to think who's Natasha. Sounds familiar. Oh, who was she body shaming? It was Mommy Ramblings, which I know she can be annoying too, but still, like, why do you? I don't understand middle-aged women sitting there picking apart other women's looks like teenagers. That is so petty, and it just like freaking reeks of jealousy. I mean, come on, look at the people who are saying the shit. I mean, look at Natasha. No wonder. I mean, come on. Seriously, I've just noticed ever since I try to not go low like that. Now, I do sometimes. I know. Sometimes I slip and I will say some petty shit. But I just noticed, like, since I've started trying to avoid doing that, it just seems like my life has gotten better. I don't know. It could be just in my head, but either way, it feels like an improvement. And if it's working for me, I'm going to keep doing it. And I just feel like it's the right thing to do anyways, because why, if you're right in an argument, okay, and if somebody is really as bad as you're saying they are, if they're really as horrible as you're saying they are, then you have no reason that you would have to make up anything not true. You wouldn't have to, because you wouldn't have to attack their looks. You wouldn't have to go be petty, go low like that, because they do a good enough job themselves. There's plenty to talk about because they have, you know what I mean? But no, these people make up shit and sorry, I was reading a text. I'm not sure. Whoever texted me that, I'm not sure. I don't know who that is. The Trisha lady who claims she saw Jose on her. What? What happened to Gigi? Oh my gosh, she does rake in the dough. But she raked in the dough but look at all the drama she has to freaking. She's gonna probably she's gonna make all this money and living off the drama on YouTube. But she'll die, in a year of a heart attack from all the stress of the bullshit. It's seriously not worth it. Thank you. I mean, I had that reputation for a long time, and I think that I'm finally getting past that. I mean, there's still people that try to say it, because they are projecting the shit that they're the ones actually bullying, and they're just projecting. Be like, oh, she's not a bully. There is people that still say it, but it's not as bad. Like it was really. I think also like, the drama from the panels that we had and stuff that gets put on me, even though just because I'm the host, and we haven't been doing panels. I'd love to do them, but I can't do some. If people would get back into them, if we could, I'd love to get back into it. Not every day, because it gets people start arguing and it's too stressful. Yeah, she can sit there and beg for money. Natasha can sit there and straight up ask for money and have no shame, and people will give it to her by the freaking hundreds. But for some reason, I never mention money, and I'm somehow a scammer. Okay. And I see it happen to others too, not just me. Hey guys, I'm going to go because it is 2:25 a.m., but I am going to be on tomorrow. Like I said, I made a promise to myself that I'd at least go live for an hour a day, just to be consistent. Well, thank you, Imagine Peace. I think that's the only way that we can grow as a human being. I want to be like I want to be like that's why I look up to people like Chris McDonough. I'll never be as successful as that, but like I can try my hardest to be a good person, and I don't care to be rich at all. just in case there is such a thing as karma, or just in case there is such thing as an afterlife or a God, I just want to stay on the safe side, okay? Because I'm pretty sure that there is such a thing, because I really don't believe that we would end up here and be this knowledgeable and be this advanced and not be made in the likeness of somebody, something greater. Something just doesn't appear out of nothing. So I'm just going to be on the safe side and try to be a decent person just in case, because I really don't feel like frying in hell for eternity, or, having to, who knows what happens when we pass this, we'll only know that when we pass. Maybe we might not. It might just be blackness when we pass. But, just in case though, I'm going to try to do the right thing. I have not always done the right thing. Like when I was younger and stuff, I thought I had to fit in and be cool too, But just because you do something wrong one time doesn't mean you have, or you do something that bad one time doesn't mean you have to continue doing bad. Just because you get labeled a bad person doesn't mean you have to live up to that. You can change. And it is possible to change your life around after addiction. Anybody out there that needs to hear that. Seriously, I'm living proof of it. But guys, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for hanging out. It was a good hour. It was kind of like a therapy session. I should be paying you guys. Maybe someday when I'm as successful as Chris McDonough, I'll pay you guys. I believe there's a God in heaven too. All right, good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow.